are waiting an announcement from the White House concerning autism in children. Donald Trump is expected to link the development of the condition with the use of the pain reliever Tylenol during pregnancy, so basically paracetamol. Tylenol's maker says there is no credible link between the drug and autism. Viktor Ahlqvist is a postdoctoral fellow at Karolinska Institute and joins me now from Stockholm. Victor, welcome to the show. We are waiting to hear, so if I have to interrupt, apologies in advance. But first of all, what do you make, Victor, of the link that the US suggesting potentially that we're likely to hear from them soon between Tylenol and autism in that kind of prenatal period? Does the data you've seen suggest this?
The data that I've seen does not suggest that paracetamol causes autism. And there has been a variety of types of studies on this question. We performed one of the largest study where we looked at 2.5 million children in Sweden, and we could not find strong evidence to suggest that paracetamol would cause autism. So it's frankly quite surprising if the administration would come out and make this claim.
Can you speak to your study, exactly what you found? How many, you said 2.5 million children, right? Can you give us more information on that?
In Sweden, we have a national health service which enables us to connect together health records for the entire population. And during antenatal visits in Sweden, mothers had self-reported their consumptions of paracetamol or acetaminophen. And we were able to link this to the children's outcome and follow 2.5 million children. What was unique about our study was that we were also able to compare siblings born to the same mother. So in one of the pregnancies, the mother used paracetamol, and one of the other pregnancies, she did not. And by doing that, you could then compare the risk between these matched siblings and get a very elegant answer to whether paracetamol increases the risk of these neurodevelopmental conditions. And we find evidence that it does not.
That is really interesting, hearing that evidence and also comparing between siblings. That is crucial. But let me just put this to you, because it seems that autism is on the rise in the United States. This is from, according to the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report, Victor, that they published in April. They said about 1 in every 31 children was diagnosed with autism by age 8 in 2022, up from 1 in 36 in 2020. Do you have a sense, this obviously relates only to the United States, but does this correlate with what you're seeing? Why do you think we're seeing a rise?
So we're seeing the same thing in Sweden, but it's important to emphasize here that we don't think that this is a rise in autism. This is a rise in the diagnosis of autism. And this is because we are more aware of autism today. Parents are more aware, clinicians are more aware. Also, we have expanded the diagnostic criteria for autism to include more people. So just by these changes, we would expect an increase in the diagnosis. When people have looked at if symptoms have changed through time, they have not. So we have not seen evidence of an increase in autism. We see an increase in the diagnosis of autism.
That is such an important distinction that you are making. I think that is important for our viewers, of course, when we hear the announcement, the president saying it was going to be an amazing announcement. But very quickly, before we go, when you hear then the US potentially linking those two things, paracetamol, right, with autism, is this science, you think, or is this just pure reckless politics?
I think it's speculation on behalf of the administration, and I think it is sort of pointing at fingers at mothers who are already afraid that they might have caused some harm to their children, when we have definitely no evidence to suggest that that is the fact. You could cherry pick the evidence and try to build together a narrative, but that's not how science works.
Such an important point. Victor, thank you very much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.